Hello, I'm Austin Ray. Here's my wonderful audience.
Hey.
Hello, everybody. And I'll hand you over to my camera lady.
So, when you buy your next car, would you be more impressed by a car that goes like vroom, 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 or a car that sounds more like meh? Well, before you judge a car by the amount of noise it can make, you should think about the issues about fossil fuels versus alternative energy. If you paid any attention to the news in the past 10 years, you know that we're having serious problems with fossil fuels. It's expensive, we have to deal with very difficult nations to import them, and we're also cooking the planet with the amount of CO2 we release into the atmosphere. These issues have been particularly relevant to me as an environmental science major and my field of study. So the cool thing is scientists have been working for the past several decades developing alternative sources of energy and solutions to the gas crisis and fossil fuels. Today we're going to talk about stuff that's currently available and things in the near future and further future. What's on the market currently are hybrid cars and even more recently fully electric cars. So you might guess the idea behind a hybrid is a gas engine and a electric motor working in tandem. So depending on how fast you're going to drive or how far you're driving depends on the ratio to gas or electric power that you're going to use. Additionally, hybrid cars and electric cars have started using regenerative braking, which means as the car decelerates, instead of wasting the kinetic energy, the electric motor is reversed and acts as a generator to recharge the batteries to recover some power. So you might wonder why you don't use a diesel engine more often than a gas engine, since diesel is so much more efficient. Well, Audi tried this. The problem is they're expensive and they're heavy. So the concept car they built with the diesel electric, it's really just a motor and an engine on wheels. It's no backseat, no glove box, no nothing. It's basically all it is. But it's very efficient and some interesting concept, I guess. So additional pros and cons about hybrids. If you want to save money on gas, it's great, but the problem is that you release a lot of CO2 in actually building the battery. So in renewable energy, an article on the Australian.com by Ben Webster, he says, for a net reduction in CO2 emissions, the owner must drive at least 120,000 kilometers. Additionally, the owner can expect to replace the batteries every few years. So the more promising technology is hydrogen fuel cells. This is probably the future of transportation in the next century. In the renewableenergy.com talks about the basic idea of fuel cells. Fuel cells combine hydrogen and oxygen to produce electricity, heat, and water. Hydrogen is the most abundant element in the universe, including Earth. It's a great fuel source. NASA's been using it for years already as a clean-burning rocket fuel, and they already have fuel cells in the shuttle. They use the byproduct water for the astronauts drinking water. That's very promising. It's basically like a battery that will run as long as you got hydrogen. The battery will still run and charge itself. In the further future, an interesting concept that I read about in foxnews.com. It's an article called China Designs a Negative Emission Car. It's called the Yes. It basically acts like an artificial plant. The solar cells on top of the roof capture sun rays, which is the main source of energy. Additionally, it has windmill generators on each wheel. And the most exciting thing about this car is the composite which the body is made out of, which undergoes artificial photosynthesis, actually capturing CO2 and oxygen from the air to produce electricity and the coolant that it needs, while instead of producing extra CO2, it actually removes some from the atmosphere. So if you want to help out the environment, I would suggest you probably go for a more fuel efficient car, like a small diesel or just a newer model. Everyone's trying to, that's the hot item today is fuel efficiency. But just keep an eye out in the future for better technologies that are cheaper and better for our environment. And don't necessarily judge a car by the amount of noise it can make. Yeah, it can be impressive sometimes. It's a lot of good technology. Thanks, guys.